We've been very conservative. At times you could probably say too conservative in our debt management. We for the past decade all about domestic market, lengthening the yield curve, going all the way to 30, 50 years, looking for new type of investors, making the market more deep and liquid. And at the same time, foreign exchange exposure has gone almost to zero in Thailand from debt liability perspective. So what that means is going into COVID, we had a lot of buffer. We didn't even issue treasury bills. We had the bonds were 5 years onwards. So what that means that naturally any additional funding we can absorb almost halfway through treasury bills. And what we did with the central bank was they didn't engage in the unconventional. There's no QE. Basically, they gave up their central bank 6-month bills, so that the MOF can issue the 6 months T-bills. And also they gave up the 3 years bond as well. For the Ministry of Finance can issue the 3 years benchmark bond. That means almost 800 billion from new borrowing went straight into treasury bills and the 3-year bond. Obviously they kept the policy rate very low, so we had low funding costs. We had no additional supply on the market. It was just a replacement from government to the BOT bonds. So that helped a lot in terms of absorbing any additional funding. And we also use non-market instruments. That's why you see us increasing the bond supply very little every year. The funding went up over 100%. The bond supply went up 10 and then 20%. So our thing at the time was, what can we do to help the corporate sector who are suffering with cash shortage, to keep their funding costs very low. So that's what we did. So that means going forward, we have a lot of, policy ammunition left if needed. The thinking behind US dollar bond is, we don't need to go there. We're not going there because there's no domestic market. We're going there because it's a way of, if we need it to help reduce the pressure on the domestic market. It's a huge market. I think Thailand has scarcity value. We haven't gone to market for a long time. There's longer tenors. There are big new investors. So it's a way of expanding our investor base as well, also helping the corporate SOEs who's going out there in terms of their pricing. Just one last point. I think we try to keep new instruments, and ESG was another natural thing to go into. I think every sovereign has a duty to play a big part. And so we issue our first sustainability bond with the new framework, and we're looking to build on that. I think Thailand has to contribute to Paris Agreement, UN SDGs, and do our part to do whatever we can within our capacity to help climate change and social issues. So going forward, we will maintain to be conservative. We will try to lengthen the portfolio, looking at new instruments, try to cater for all types of investors as much as we can, and at the same time try to keep domestic market, as calm as possible. But it is a difficult time, given more funding needs and of course the rising interest rate environment going forward.